My name is Vanessa Tejas, and I will be discussing Working from Home, a Group Analysis. Working from home may cross the home boundary, gradually intruding on family and personal time, which can lead to stress. Working from home as a salesperson may be stressful due to the expectations and sales goals. In addition, working mothers deal with stress of having to care for their children while having to work. Working in teams may result in social power, the capacity to influence others. I chose to explore the topic of stay-at-home mothers because I am a working mother who once considered working from home, but found that to be more stressful than working on-site. In addition, I feel it was important to analyze the dynamics in work teams and the pressure that is put on salespeople. I will be interchanging between the words mothers, salespeople, and employees, and all are meant to have the same meaning. I hypothesize that It Works employees will experience more stress, especially for mothers, due to job stress, role conflict, and will be affected by the hard and soft tactics used by It Works representatives or the company. Here at the bottom, I have an employee who is stressed out with work. Not even 5 cups of coffee can keep him going. My intentions in the study was to gain an understanding if working from home benefits mothers and to find the underlying opinions they have of their work teams. I analyzed the women's work team 2 times on 2 different days, where the 7 women gave verbalized consent for me to analyze them. I used a group discussion and interview method. Picture to the right is a group of people who are most likely in a group discussion. The sample included 7 females from an It Works work team between the ages of 26 and 39. 6 of the 7 women were Hispanic and 1 woman was white. 6 of the 7 women are mothers to at least 1 or more children, and all 7 of the women reside in Southern California. The first time I analyzed 5 of the 7 women's Instagram and Facebook pages online. I paid close attention to how often they each advertised, what they advertised, and how they advertised. In addition, I compared each employee's posts. I analyzed their posts by scrolling through each woman's page. I found that the women posted periodically, which was every hour, and the women posted sales that were currently going on. For example, buy one, get one 50% off, buy one, get 3 free, and so on. The women posted these as well as posted about their lives. The women posted about their lives to let others know that they are real women who are working a real job. In addition to trying to get people to buy their items, they were trying to recruit other women or members as well. The second time, I analyzed one of their group meetings. During the group meeting, I interviewed 3 of the 7 women, as only 5 women attended the meeting. I asked 3 separate questions. A group discussion method was used to find out the employees' feelings about the benefits to their job, as well as their feelings towards belonging to a team. A one-on-one interview was conducted to the participants to see if their answers were consistent with the answers in the group discussion. Prior to the study, I expected that the employees' answers would not be consistent during the group discussion and one-on-one interviews. I also expected for the mothers to feel more stress when working from home. In addition, I opinionated for the mothers or employees to be negatively affected by the hard power and soft tactics used by representatives from It Works. One limitation to the study is that 6 of the 7 women were mothers and only 1 was not. Comparing an even amount of mothers versus non-mothers would aid in a better understanding of stress. A second limitation is the size of the sample. Only 7 women of the millions of It Works employees were analyzed. A bigger sample could possibly change the results. Since it was an online work team, employees hardly gathered together. Most meetings are held via Skype. Therefore, it was difficult to fully get an insight due to these matters. The first question I asked, since working for It Works, have you noticed an increase in family time? As a group, the women answered yes. One woman said, "As long as I follow 100 women at the start of my day, all I have to worry about is posting, and I get to be with my kids." The second question, "Do you believe this is more beneficial than working a 9 to 5 job?" All said yes, of course. "I hate having to wake up and go to work and leave my kids," said one woman. The third question, "Although you work from home, do you believe you give enough attention to your children?" Some were hesitant to respond, but most said yes, and others looked to each other and nodded in agreement. "I love my job because I am able to freely work on my own time and still be there to witness my baby grow up," said one of the participants. I then asked 3 of the 7 women individual questions. I asked the same questions to see if I received different responses or the same responses. One of the women was the leader of the team, and the other 2 were the teammates. The other 4 had to get home and were unable to stay for the interview. The first question I asked was different from the other questions that I previously asked, so that I wouldn't single any one person out. The question I asked was, "Do you feel stressed about the expectations from your leader?" One woman said, "Not so much my leader, more like the company. We have to constantly post and follow. I feel like I'm on my phone all day, and just to get that one sale, it's stressful at times, because if I don't get that sale, then I don't get money, and this is all I have to rely on, so the more work I put in, the more money. I guess it has its pros and cons." The second woman responded, "Not really. I mean, it's a pretty simple job. Make the sale and get the money. But I mean, I guess the pressure of having to follow and post consistently can be overwhelming. I just want a break from my phone, and having to convince someone to buy a product I never really use is difficult itself. I just hope to get to the top so I don't have to work as hard." The second question was, "Since working for It Works, have you noticed an increase in family time?" All 3 of the women believed that it did increase family time as well as it didn't. All 3 didn't give me a straight answer. They mentioned that they love the money, but aren't so great about the job itself. The woman mentioned that it caused problems between her husband and herself due to her being on the phone all the time. And the third question, "Do you believe this is more beneficial than working a 9 to 5 job?" All 3 women suggested that working a 9 to 5 could possibly give more freedom to allow more time for family time. This contradicted with their first thoughts that they do spend enough time with their children. The fourth question, "Although you work from home, do you believe you give enough attention to your children?" All answered that they do believe they give enough attention to their children. Although at times they have to be focused on their work, they believe that they still gave enough time to their children. My findings were consistent with my expectations that group answers would differ from one-on-one answers. I also found that women were pressured to post due to hard and soft tactics used by the company, especially when incentives were offered. For example, the women were told that the more they post, the better the sales they'd get. The better the sales they'd get, the more money that they would make. Mothers, of course, are always wanting the best for their children. Therefore, the harder they work, the better their life for their children. My findings were not consistent that working from home would take away from family time. The 3 women believed for the most part they did give enough attention to their children. However, the mothers mentioned they considered working a 9 to 5 job instead due to other reasons. One of those reasons included an upset spouse for spending so much time on their phone. I can infer that this is due to jealousy and the many problems social media causes in relationships. On the top, there is a mom with a daughter spending quality time. Overall, the most important finding was that people's choices and decisions rely merely on their peers. My main concern was to discover if working from home is more beneficial for mothers or not, and I found that they love the freedom of not having a 9 to 5, but would like the time away from work that a 9 to 5 has to offer. I discovered that social influence is a huge concern when in a group or team. This was not shocking, as previous research has confirmed this. For example, the Asch experiment. In the ASH experiment, they concluded that when in groups or in teams, people will decide with the majority influence, even if that answer is incorrect. Pictured to the right on the bottom is a group of boys jumping off a bridge into the water. The famous line, "If your friends do it, will you do it too?" It is evident that if friends do it, or group members or team members, then it is more likely that others will do it too. My findings did not fully confirm what I expected. I believed more mothers or employees would be concerned about the stress of working from home. However, my findings were the opposite. The mothers believed they were giving enough time to their children, but did express having a job while raising children could be stressful. Social influence, interpersonal processes that change the thoughts, feelings, or behaviors of another person was present in the study. The women from the It Works teams displayed conformity when making decisions as a group. I analyzed that when women gave an answer, the others looked to their group or team members for direction, therefore being influenced by the majority. When I interviewed them one-on-one, they each had a mind of their own, which was different from what the answers that they gave as a group. Reward power, that is, power based on one's control over the distribution of rewards given or offered to group members, was another dynamic noted in the work team. Since incentives were provided, mothers felt the pressure to work harder to earn these rewards or bonuses. In addition, the leader displayed legitimate power, that is, power based on an individual's socially sanctioned claim to a position or role that gives the occupant the right to require and demand compliance with directives. The leader was in charge of making sure mothers or salespeople made their sales goal since their money each depended on one another. The leader explained that she had felt more stress since she was the leader and had to make sure her team was on top of everything. The leader also used power tactics in order to influence the members to want to work harder. The leader used both soft and hard tactics. The leader used rewards, such as whoever makes the more sales goals will get a $50 bonus from me, and so on. Future research should analyze working moms versus non-working moms to better understand whether working from home or working on site is more beneficial. In addition, future research should also compare work teams versus individuals, that is, those who work individually. Pictured at the bottom is a mom who works with her children and who works from home. An example would be a daycare. In a daycare, a mother would be able to have her own child at home. However, she would also be sharing her attention with other children. Pictured to the right is a woman who is in the army. That mom is not present for her children as she has to go far away. Analyzing both of these situations would aid in a better conclusion for this, to see if it is more beneficial to work or not to work as a mother. Thank you.